Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining this beautiful morning. My name is Mark, and with me,
Nathan Erznoznik here at the Grace Cove Studio, live today.
Yes. We have a special day today. We're going to be talking about our Cutie 19 series. Two machines that I love. These machines work very well. Actually, my wife owns the one that's in front of me, which is why I thought I'd stand in front of this one.
Well, I thought my wife should own this one, so I'm going to stand in front of this one.
There you go.
Just kidding, just kidding.
Today we're going to do Q&As, and I love doing Q&As because there's a lot of questions that come about with our Cutie 19s. Because this is live, feel free to put your questions in. We will get to all the questions, as many as possible. They do come in, so get them in there. Dee Dee, good morning.
Good morning, Dee Dee.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us.
Yes, we are excited.
Mark, maybe I can kind of give them a heads up here. As we got a lot more people coming in, just know, like, this is kind of open the box Q&A time. And so we got together kind of a couple weeks back.
Yes.
And we know one of the things that we actually did, we did a survey, and we did this last year when we were going to Houston. We've done it a few other times. And what we had found out is a lot of customers over the last 3 months, over the last 6 months, and some of you might even say over the last couple of years have been looking and browsing a page with a long arm, whether it's a competitor or ours. And what the questions we heard like unanimously is, would you mind just helping me understand a little bit more? And they would say a machine. And so we thought that as we were here today, we'll spend some time.
Yes.
And we will open up for anybody with any kind of Q&A that you have. And that's what we're gonna spend some time with. Talk about a few things. We'll demonstrate a few things, and of course, they're on sale, so we'll talk about that as well. But let's go ahead and continue welcoming everybody as they come on in and say hello to everybody.
Yes, there's a lot of people coming in. Hello. Thank you, Alberta, Margaret. Thank you for joining us. Keep them coming in. Let us know where you're from. And again, put in those questions, what you have on the 19. Like Nathan mentioned, you may have been doing research. And so if there are any questions on our Cutie 19 that you want to know, one question that we get asked a lot is when you're buying, Nathan, and I want to jump right into it, is the servicing. Like, what happens, and do we need to maintain and service? Like, how are these machines?
So are we ready to do that?
Yes.
Or do we want to kind of make sure? Because I think we've doubled in people here in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, we have doubled.
So as we're coming in, maybe let's just talk about security really quick. Have we cleared that? You mind if I do that?
Yes, please do.
Just so you know, we do have behind the scenes a few different people helping us out. Milo back there, nobody can see him. We've got Milo, we've got Bryant running. You can see we're a little bit more informal. I was going to put a gray shirt on, and Mark was like, no, I'm gonna wear what I'm wearing on Friday. But just so you know, if you have a question, just understand that there will be a response, one, verbally from us, or two, it might come from Milo. He'll put it up and you'll see the Graceco logo or icon. Just out of safety security, we're not going to be taking you to any other place. We'll be showing you some different links and some websites, but we're not going to ask or put anything in the chats for that as well. So just wanted you to know. Looks like we got someone joining from Houston. I saw earlier we had Alberta, Canada.
Yep, Spain.
We had Spain.
Yes.
We had England. Thank you for being here with us from England.
Quebec.
If you're by chance in another country and you're joining us today, understand to know that we do have distributors in those countries. Feel free to reach out to them. They do carry the exact same products. And here in the US, most importantly, is understand that we have several dealers across the US as well and online. So if you hear or you see something that is of interest, go Google that. You can come look at our dealer locator.
Yep.
We have some very, very wonderful partnerships that we have with many dealers throughout the US. And so it's been really, really fun to be able to partner with them.
Absolutely.
Especially as we're kind of getting into a cool season. And Mark, I'm just going to do some chit chatting here. Thanks coming from Illinois there. How are you feeling about the weather here?
Oh, it's cooling down for one.
Man.
Sunny, 80s.
Now people, Mark, he's not going to agree with me on this. So I'm going to give you this really quick, okay? I'm like, I have not had enough summer.
That is
true. We have
true.
not had many mid-90 days. We had maybe
true.
1 or 2 hundreds.
Yeah,
It was a really cool first part and extended what I call springtime.
It's coming
I like the hot weather. Others don't.
Yeah.
But my home is also about, I would say, like halfway between the valley and the top of the mountains there. So I'm always about 5 degrees cooler. But I'm telling you, my wife, she judges the year by how often can I sit out back in the evening times and enjoy the back patio and the mountain view? And she's like, we have not had enough days. And it's been wet here.
It has.
We've kind of had a really long season, last few years that were dry, and all the lakes are filled back up. So, but it feels like major fall time.
It has come and gone. The summer's...
And the fall time's come. You can see behind us, we've been working on part of our fall festival. So kind of right in the mood. It is not. No, it's not Thanksgiving yet. No, it's not Halloween time. But there we go. So love the fall backdrop. Yep, thank you, Devin and the team on helping put that all together. So and wherever you're at, we're being interested to know, are you happy with the weather? I had a good friend of mine, Kyle, with Sewing Machines Plus. We'll do a shout out to them, Sewing Machines Plus Nation.
Yes.
He said they had a hurricane, first time in like 40 years that came through.
Crazy.
That was pretty crazy as well. Here's the story with him. He has a little daughter, and they went into the bedroom, and they're like, man, it's just so humid in here. And his wife pops in and said, Kyle, did you close the window in the closet? And he opened the closet door, and for 11 hours, the window is open. And he said when they closed the ones out the back, he says the rain was pelting him in the face. He said, so that room is drenched. Hope all of you are okay if you're down there in California with that big hurricane that kind of came through again. Very, very unique. And I know we're getting into the 19s. I just want to make sure we've had a lot of other people join. So again, thanks. Let us know where you're from. Put your questions out. We're going to ask them. Mark, you did ask me a question, which I'm going to get into. And I think that question can be maintenance.
Maintenance.
Is the one that you asked?
Yeah, we get that a lot. Maintaining it. You know, when I buy a machine, we love our dealers. And let's say I buy a machine and there's not a dealer close by. Who's going to help me maintain it? Yeah.
I like to answer this in two ways. The ones are the what do I need to do in order to make sure the machine's up and going, and then will I ever have a problem? And one of the things is that we have on this is internal to the machines. When we designed this, and the engineers, they took not just tens of hours, but hundreds of hours, but down inside of here, both in the bottom and the top, and now this is fully cast aluminum. We have very, very, very thick shafts in here, and we have what we call sealed bearings that run internal to the machine. And what sealed means is that you never have to dismantle this. They don't ever have to be oiled. And so literally what we would tell you is internal to this machine, there is what I'm gonna say, zero maintenance, and then you can say, therefore, you love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're gonna love what you did there. The zero maintenance.
I see what you did there.
And then there is a part, because up on the front there are a couple moving mechanisms, and we talk about like every 5 quilts we're putting a drop of oil. Very, very easy to access those up in the front. We do have a couple places where we can put a drop of oil, and again, what's nice is we don't only just have written instructions, we have videos and actually animated videos as well that walk through part of what this is. But in essence, you've got the moving part here. That gets the same thing. About once every 5 quilts, we're gonna put a drop of oil. And then down on the bottom under here, one of the things that we have on this is an enclosed bobbin case. If I can get right around to this to the right angle here, let me open this up. And we do oil quite frequently this bobbin, and that is standard in the industry. So across all the machines, any brand, we're gonna put a drop of oil down there about every 5 bobbins. That's probably once a project is kind of what that is. If it's a big project, you'll be using probably 3 to 5 bobbins. A smaller one, probably 1 or 2. So Mark, there is not a maintenance schedule. If there is something that is catastrophic, what we do on behalf of the dealer and on behalf of you, if there is something that by chance fails with this, what we tell you to do is we ask that you keep the box. We bring it back and we can fully service that. We can send it out.
Yes.
Now I do have one last thing, and I am being a chatterbox, but here is the other thing. Back when we started selling the 15-inch machines, now we're on the 16, we knew that if it was a Saturday and you were trying to finish a quilt and something happens, and please don't do this, but know that this has happened. You take the bobbin out to fill it, somehow you don't put that back in and you start to quilt, you can take the timing out, which means that the needle, when it goes down and out, won't actually grab the thread on the bottom, and that could be a challenge. Well, what we did is our engineer's like, hey, we're gonna let our customers time this. I'm like, you're crazy. They're like, no, let's go get somebody who's never done this, and let's work over a series of time to find out what kind of instructions, what videos, and what tools is even more important can we give you that will allow them to do that. Do you have any thoughts on that? Have you heard any stories on people being able to find success?
Stories, a lot of stories. What I love, just what you're saying, is the comfort. So bringing someone who's never timed a machine, knowing that that will happen. People will do that because they think the bobbin case is in there. And so for us to provide them a video and the tools to do so, and the stories that you asked, people say it is easy. You don't need to have gone to a education school kind of thing to learn how to time the machine. So yes, having the ability, you never timed a machine before, stories come in all the time. When we see people at shows, when people call in, just letting us know that, hey, I had to time my machine for the first time, and I gotta tell you, I was a little scared, but between what you've given me, the resources and the instructions, it walked them through bit by bit.
Now, Mark, the reason I wanted you to share your story is, by the way, any dealer on any brand can time the machine. However, we have these sent to places where there's just nobody around. And again, if it's a Saturday, if it's a Sunday, you don't have access to that anyway. So in addition to knowing that anybody can time the machine, what we wanted is to keep this very simple for you, the user. The plan was, and we heard this, whether you're a professional quilter and you're doing somebody's quilt, whether you're doing something as a gift for a loved one, we're moving now into the season of school. We've got a lot of great other holidays that are upon us. Christmas is a big one, so gifts. A lot of people are like, hey, I'm hustling through this, and if something happens, I can't finish my project.
Yes.
And we heard that over and over. So what we did is we also created, again, the solution that allows you to keep your machine always up and operational. And now, again, Mark, I think one of the things you throw out there at the beginning is, well, talk about how hard or how easy is it to maintain. I can say you might have that as a fear. And the great thing that we've done is we're saying, how do we remove the fear? By saying, really, there's no maintenance schedule. There's oiling in a couple places, once about every 5 quilts and once every 5 bobbins. And again, incredibly easy to do. And if something happens, like the timing goes out, which on any long arm can happen, don't leave your bobbin out. It usually doesn't happen without somebody not doing something like putting the bobbin back in. But then you can take care of that on your own. Changing needles is easy. We're not going to demonstrate that here, but there's a lot of things, Mark, to your point, we've put together to help make this and help you have confidence on the 19th. Again, I've been doing a little chit chat, and I know there were questions. You started with that, and I don't know, do we have any questions? If you're here, go ahead and put your questions. There we go, Mark.
And this came from the platform, can you use the Cutie 19 machines on the Cutie Frame?
Mark, can you use this on the Cutie Frames?
Absolutely, yes.
This is the largest machine you can put on the Cutie. If I had one, I would show you, because you just slide that front rail out on the Cutie, and it has been made to perfectly fit the largest machine possible, which is a 19, which is this one here. And what 19 is from the needle to the back. So the Cutie Frame will accommodate up to exactly this machine size. So it does work with up to the 19 on the Cutie. So if you've got a Cutie and you've been using your domestic and you have in your mind, boy, there would be this dream place where I would have a larger machine that would allow me to quilt more, built-in stitch regulation, and others.
They can put it on there, and then they're good to go. Great question.
Great question.
Other questions we get, Nathan? Now, this is going to be for both, these are long machines, right? So there's things we built into the features to help the experience of the quilter. For example, the machine is close to them as they're quilting, and you have to get the needle up out of the fabric. A lot of people want to reach behind to grab the hand wheel to twist the needle up.
So again, what we're saying is if that we're out front, trying to reach, like if even my arm to reach around,
reach
this
around
is very, very hard, right?
So
then what happens if the needle comes down or it stays down, or I want to single stitch or I want to do anything?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And so we have done some things built into the machine and our screens particularly that you can have that option to bring your needle up and down from a push of the button on either one of these machines. And the handlebars as well. We have nice buttons on the handlebars that have the needle down, that if you needed to, you can do that without reaching to the back.
So if you're using a domestic machine, sometimes we'll take our hand and we'll move that needle. Also, if we want to slowly check something,
yes.
These also have a feature where we can very slowly increment that needle down as well, all like you're saying from the screens.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about the screens.
I love this 2 screens. So on the 19X Elite, we have our 7-inch screen, touch screen, and our 19X, we have a 2.5, 3-inch touchscreen.
Yep.
On this one.
2.5, I think, is where we're at.
2.5 touchscreen. Both are easy to read, easy to use. You get a little more functions come with the larger screen because there's more space to add more features for you as a user. But both of them walk you through. What I love on the 19 is the manual. The other question we get is, hey, when I buy the machine and I want to be able to, I can't remember how to do what I needed to do, and I don't know where my manual is. How do I oil the machine? I want to oil. I forget where I got to oil it.
You're talking like instructions, insights.
Yes.
So let's talk really quickly about finish the touchscreen, and then I want to talk about this manual.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that I have found too is that there's a combo of sometimes we like to touch because visually we see something, and the other time sometimes we want a button. And I think what we've done is we've built. One of the great things we've done is we've built that function.
Yes,
so even starting and stopping, if there's a preferred touch, usually we want to use that active with the button, but we have a combination of an ability to move and work with the buttons on the physical handles, and or we can use the touchscreen as well.
Yep.
And then you were talking about the manual. We heard a lot about this. So now why is this such a big deal?
Well, let's say, this happens every now and then, especially when you get someone to come set up. We talked about keeping the box if you needed to set it in right, but every now and then, if you have someone come set it up, that box ends up going with that person, and the manual is inside that box. That's one example. Or if you're like me, the manuals I get for my tools and stuff go in a grocery sack, and I end up putting that thinking where I know it's going, I'm going to find it. Right. And I may not need it for a year or two, and then when I do need it, I'm like, where did I put that manual? And it seems like it just ups and leaves. And so there's many experiences.
You can go find it online if you ever need to.
Yep.
But
on the 19X Elite, we built a lot of that into the screen.
So we do have on the X Elite specifically, to your point, a way to go in and look. Now, let's go do a close-up on this because I want to talk about one of the things that somebody would maybe use a manual on. And it's not necessarily easy to see, but up here, we actually have printing on this machine that walks through how to thread it. We do have that same set of instructions actually with a few different things from an animation standpoint and it's built into this X Elite. It actually has access to threading guides, other types of things as well. And again, when this is powered on, you can go ahead and touch one of the settings on here that just simply accesses all of those other manuals. Again, when we came out with that, I was like, yeah, sure, that's nice. And I would say that was probably one of the biggest things that most people commented on once they understood is, hey, I really love the fact that I can access that information when I need it at any time. Don't have to go find it, don't have to look at it online, don't have to go watch the video because of that. Let's go see, what other kind of questions? Do we have any other questions coming up there? Let's go ahead and take the first from MK Flu. Thank you for being with us today. We appreciate that. Invite your friends too, if anybody's have interest. Today we're doing Q&A on the 19. She asks, I always feel like I'm going to break the plug for the automation when I need to oil from the top. Is there a way to oil without removing the connection? I'm trying to think, is this for the 21 machine? Is this a 19-inch machine? Because on the automation, we don't oil the automation at all. And on the machines, removing a plug, I'm trying to think of...
Yeah, the 21, there's a hole on the 21 that you drip down. Yeah. On the 19, you do need to remove the top piece here to oil it, but yeah,
I'm guessing on the original 19s, there was a button that we pushed that you would release it. Just understand and know that you can be confident to continue to use that button. If you ever had an issue, let us know. We have not heard of that being broken. These ones just have a little bit of a screw, so there is not a push and release kind of a plug for this as well in order to get in there. And the other thing too is I like just to go right here through the open slot myself without getting into the machine in order to access that. We do include a fine tip needling point, which would allow you to access that. And what MK Flu is asking is there is a stand that sits on top of this where we have the tablet. And so she's like, hey, in order to get underneath there, I'm having to get around some items. Again, one of the best ways is just to go in here from the side. You can actually access both of the pieces that you need to oil from that particular location. So.
Yeah, great question. What other questions do we have that we can bring back up? So question from the platform, what hopping foot sets work with the Cutie 19 machines?
Great question. Let's do this really quick while we talk. Bryant, can you go ahead and just pull up in the shop some feet? We're gonna talk about a couple things on this. So let's open a new tab if you wouldn't mind. There are several different feet that you can buy for this 19, and I wanna go ahead and open those. If we go to the shop, let's look at machine accessories on the left-hand side. Drop down the machine, just go ahead and open that. Nope, up on the top where it's machine, just do the arrow next to the machines. And then click on, do we have accessories?
There you go, yep.
It's under automated quilting still. Well, click on the machines for me. Just click on the quilting machines, and I think we'll probably go back to the accessories as a whole. and then scroll down. I think this might filter all those out. Keep going, keep going. Let's see if there's anything else in here. No, let's go back up top. Thank you for working through us with this. Go ahead and just click accessories on the left and hit the whole selection of accessories. And then there they are, machine accessories. Thank you. Thanks for helping me find that. If you'll notice, let's go ahead and scroll down and let's find the 9-foot kit for everybody. Keep on going. There's a 3-foot kit. There's the 9-foot. Let's open the 9-foot up. And we're going to talk about what this is. If you can see, this is one of the optional feet kit. This is probably our second most popular. We'll talk about the most popular here in a minute. But this actually comes with couching on the left-hand side for different thicknesses of yarns or threads or items that you're looking to quilt to the top. And we can talk a little bit more about what that is if you're not familiar with it. You'll also notice that there's a set of what we're calling echo feet. And you can see the smallest is a 1/4. You got like, I think it's a 1/2 and a 1-inch offset. And then you can also see that we have 3 other main feet. In the middle on the top is the glide. People love this if you're using high loft batting, because this allows it to move up and over and kind of push that thicker batting down. It's also great if you have a lot of seams and you're worried about catching on the tip of a seam. And then you can see the square ruler and the diamond foot ruler. Those are for using ruler work. So maybe, Mark, you could talk about that ruler kit, and then let's bring up and go back a screen here. So just hit the back button on your screen, and then let's go slide up to the one right up in the middle there, the 3-piece. And Mark, tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, this one is also popular because you get 3 feet. We talked about the ruler, so I'm going to start with that one. That very first picture you see, that thicker foot, is the ruler foot. This will help your experience on ruler work. If you're looking,
that middle image, if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, no, there we go. Thanks.
And if you're looking to do ruler work, you can see the thickness of that, and that's what you're looking at or want, is that thicker ruler foot, so you don't go on top of the ruler or maybe underneath the ruler. That is the perfect size you need. It also comes with 2 other feet, an open foot and a micro stippling foot. The open toe, there's many different reasons why you'd want to get the open toe. A lot of people like to see the needle going down without anything maybe surrounding or blocking it, right? So you have a perfect view of the needle going in your fabric and out of the fabric. And for tracing, gives you maybe a little more visibility as you're tracing around patterns. And then the stippling foot. If you like to micro stipple, you see that little guy right there, you will be able to do little micro stippling stitches to your heart content.
Or any kind of detail,
or any detailed kind of work to your heart content.
Really, really tiny foot.
Yes.
And then let's go back to the accessory page one more time, and then let's take them, and I want to show them the 360 Wonder Foot here. So scroll down, we'll look at finding the 360. You can see there's a few other feet that we have, but keep on going. We have another fun ruler foot, and down there at the very bottom, let's choose that one. And then let's kind of come back to this here really quick first, and then let's go back and choose that one that's the big 360 one. So really quick, the question was what kind of feet? This one does come out of the box with the standard foot that's meant for free motion quilting. And then usually we find that depending on what you're looking to do, if you're looking to free motion and ruler work, if you're not familiar, is you have a straight edge, the machine can come against that straight edge, that plastic piece, and what it can do is you can pull along that to get that nice shape, whether it's straight or moving. So we do find people will buy the ruler base, they'll buy that 3-foot kit, and then they're gonna go buy a set of rulers. Now, rulers, there are so many different rulers that are out there. We have a couple that we've partnered with Leah Day on, and she has wonderful videos that show you how to use her rulers as well. But again, any long arm ruler in the market, and it does need to be long arm because our rulers are thicker because the foot on the machine moves higher. Let's go back to that last foot really quick, that 360. This is one of the coolest feet we've made in a very long time.
Absolutely it is.
Go ahead, Mark, talk a little bit about this one.
So I look at it a couple of ways. One, think about like a compass if you want to go in directional, right? If you're stitching in a ditch, this would be perfect to go along your square. That bottom piece that you see, that yellow outline bottom plastic, there's actually kind of a roller piece at the bottom of that rotates that bottom in the direction you're moving. So if you want to go up and you're tracing, you're stitching the ditch, that will actually rotate in the direction you're going for any kind of tracing, stitching in the ditch. What other applications? Those 2 that I know I use it for, but there may be more people want to use it for.
Yeah, the other one that we have is, it's really interesting. Let's go ahead and come back to us again and then see if there's maybe a video in on that one. If not, that's fine. But one of the things that's really interesting, Mark, is if you're going to use a ruler, we're physically holding and moving and putting things together. What we found is that if you're free motioning, often you still want guidance. And so that by rotating helps you understand how straight, and it does offsets. And so if you want to stay just off of a line, let's say it's a 1/4 inch offset, you can put in, it's very easy to pop in. It's a little guide that pops in there. And then you can then change what is showing up on your quilt. And again, there's nothing else like this in the industry. We have found that a lot of people that quilt, Carla, our quilting expert, she talked about that she actually felt that it almost helped her a little bit because it felt a little bit more smooth because there's this rotating guide on the bottom. So it actually is called the 360 Wonderfoot because it can rotate 360 degrees no matter where you're at to keep those lines in a place where you can use them as a reference. So either aligned, it's great if you know you're gonna come up to a block edge and you can know when you stop because that crosshair shows up on them. Love that product. We've had some tremendous success with customers who've absolutely loved that as well. And if we've got a video, maybe we can see if we can kind of show you this really quick. This is in use just briefly. That's getting put on. This looks like it's probably our 21 Pro machine. And she's talking about, you can see the crosshairs that are there. And then maybe you can see how that rotates when you move it. Love it. And that way, when you get to the end of your next block, it shows you and it helps you kind of know where you can start and stop. And then I don't know if we can just skip in the video and see if she's quilting with this at all. Let's go ahead and just jump somewhere in the middle there. Keep going. Is she quilting at all? She's right now showing a couple different things from an alignment standpoint. There we go. And so now she's using that. You can see that actually rotate. She'll come to a spot where she might want to stop. Gives you the lineup. Then what she can do is rotate it down. You can see that foot just rotate right inside of there. So when she gets down to her next corner, she knows how far to go and she can stop. All right, thank you for showing that. I appreciate it. That's me putting Bryant, you know,
on the spot
our video
right there,
whiz, you know, our professional behind the scenes. So thanks.
So,
but again, when people see that, like, oh, and so you don't have to go use the rulers. That really does a great job in giving you some guidance. So that was a long answer about what kind of feet are available, but they work on both of the 19s. And by the way, those same feet work on our 16s and our 21s. So if you own one of those, know that you can buy those accessories as well. But that's something that you would use in addition to as an accessory for the 19. Let's go ahead.
I know there's a couple other ones. So we'll go to Paula first and then Dee Dee has a question. Let's go to Paula. So Paula, I used to have a 15R with a Continuum 1 frame, and I upgraded to a 19X Elite. Congratulations, Paula. But it seems to sit higher on the tracks. I've raised either rail and belly bar to max, but it's still sitting a bit high.
So I guess what's sitting a bit high? I'm wondering, is it that the machine's still tight with
that? It could be the machine. Maybe Paula, reach back out and be a little more specific. It may be the 19.
Well, what I can do with this too is let's go ahead and reach out to our tech support team because I am not quite sure. I've raised the idler bar and the belly bar to the max. And I'm guessing she's maybe talking about the front.
Could
and
be.
Maybe that it's maybe not high enough.
Could be, because maybe she's talking about the bottom of the throat because they're different sizes and so you would need to raise that up.
And what she's talking about as well is if you'll look at this machine, there is a variance depending on the machine and when we had those, we did have a different height. And so when she had her machine, the 15, this surface does sit a little bit lower. And so there is an adjustment that is needed in order to lift the rails. And I think what she might be asking about is either the front rail, lifting it as high as we need to do, or it might be something with the one in the throat. I think the one in the throat, it sounds like hers is okay. Reach out to our tech support team. You can give us a call. The machine is sitting higher than I'm guessing the front rail. Is what that is. So reach out, Paula, to our group, our tech support team, our 1-800-264-0644.
0644. 0644. 1-800-264-0644. And they'll be happy to help you. Okay, Dee Dee has a good question.
Great. Thank you for the questions, by the way. Keep them coming.
Yes. Is there a bobbin winder on these machines? Yes, there is. And these, I love these bobbin winders actually.
And it's not just a bobbin winder. Yeah, let's talk about this because nobody has this.
No, it is a awesome bobbin winder. So yes, there is a bobbin winder. It is a optical bobbin winder.
Absolutely.
M-class bobbins, by the way, use on these machines. So M-class bobbin, and you can see right on top of here the bobbin winder. So there is the post that the bobbin is going to be in. Right up front, there is your stop and your pause button if you wanted to. Right in front, right here, you see the little lines. Right there and right here crossed, That's where the sensor. So you put the bobbin winder on, and it is a different.
So here we go.
Yes.
Put this on.
It is a different motor than the machine.
So separate, does not require the machine to run. That little thing has a little laser that goes across, and it can tell exactly when the thread gets in front of it. So it's automatic is number one. So
automatic.
Mark, you said you can turn on, hit the play button, it goes.
Yep.
Separate motor, so it doesn't need to have the machine operational. I mean, the power needs to be on, but the machine is not running.
That's right. You can wind them before you start, wind them during your quilt, and then when it fills up, that thing will just stop on its own. So you don't have to maintain it. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to keep an eye on it and say, okay, is it going? Yeah, no.
And it's a high speed. Like
yes,
you're
it
not
is.
going to find a better, faster bobbin winder from what this is. So this is, again, a high speed. What happens is it kind of comes back through. We've got a couple things that loops through. First, your thread's going to come up, loops through here, and it also, we have a built-in cutter. It's right behind here. Let's pull this off so you can see. We've got a cutter on here too, so that when we're done, we can simply trim our bobbins. And again, if you're not familiar, the bobbins on these long arms are the M class, which are the large, extra sized bobbins. And so they're very, very large. They hold about 2.5 times the amount of thread that you're going to find on a standard domestic bobbin as well. Again, you can see those buttons there also. So
yes.
Great question on the bobbin.
Yeah,
Let's do this really quick because I know we've been on here for a bit. If you have other questions, go ahead and please put those through. I did want to talk about, let's bring this up on the site.
Yeah.
One of the other reasons we're here is we did want you to understand, again, this is a Q&A section. Put your questions and your answers in, we're going to answer them. But they are on sale. And right now we have taken over 20% off. What we have found, Mark, is that this machine is one of the best options between the 16 and the big kind of commercial grade machine. So we have a 21. This machine, if you've looked at it, looks absolutely phenomenal. We call it a friendly machine. It looks a little bit more slender. It's a little bit more pretty in how we've been able to design it. Keeps the same rigidity that we have in our 21, and then you end up with two different styles on this. The one that you're looking at on the screen right there, normally the price on this machine is $84.99. We've got $2,000 off of the 19X Elite right now, and if we scroll down, you'll also see that we've got the 19X on sale for under $6,000 at $58.99. And really quick, let's come back, and I'm gonna jump to one other page, and we'll get back into another question. But just so you guys know, we're gonna tell you a little something else, and then I wanna answer a few more questions, and then we can kind of wrap this up. So one is it's on sale at a phenomenal price.
Yes.
We had a question earlier. If you're joining us, it was, hey, if I have a Cutie frame, does this fit? Yes, this fits literally on any of the frames that Grace has ever made for a long time. If you've got a question, call our 800 number. But right now, if you're looking at the current frames, Cutie, Q-Zone, we've had currently the Continuum 2, which we just kind of
the Evolution
running out of the Evolution. This works on those frames with nothing else needed. If you have automation, you don't need anything else as well. You literally can buy this, set it on there, plug it in, and you're gonna be ready to go. And then we've got the two models. They are on sale, but however, there's been something else that we have for a select few of you that are in the market. And let's skip to our last tab really quick, our last two tabs. I wanna talk about this because we have also what we're gonna call some loved machines, and we are calling these recertified. These are factory recertified. There are car manufacturers that do this as well. They take back a car that has maybe been on, like us, it's been on the showroom floor, or we used it for a couple classes. We go through, I think it's over an 81-point inspection. We check everything. If there was anything that needed to be updated at all, because maybe the machine was there for a small period of time, it all gets replaced. In essence, the machine gets packaged with a brand new warranty. So in essence, the machines operate like new, contain a warranty like new, and let's go look at that price one more time. I want to look at those. So we've got the prices. You can see that the 19X is on sale for $4,270. Again, this is for a 19-inch machine, just under $4,300. And let's click on that last tab. We've got the Elite machine as well, and that Elite machine is also under $5,000. And then let's go back to the sales promo page really quick for everybody. So if you looked at this, we're at right around the and right around the 6,500 mark for those two. And then if you need to, because you're feeling like the economy's been a little bit tight, let's go ahead and come back to this here. If the economy's been a little bit tight or there's some things going on, there are machines that carry the same factory warranties as well. We call them recertified.
Yes.
But let's go ahead and come back to the machines here from what we're talking about. But I just wanted to put that out there.
I'm glad you did. Recertified machines, new machines, warranty, accessories. Earlier, as we started, we talked about, using your own machine, and Nathan mentioned, hey, if you have your machine and you want to upgrade and you're on the Cutie using it, now's the time if you've been thinking, especially with all the quilt tops. A little thing real quick, there's a couple of the questions, but if you have quilt tops and you're ready to get those done, and you want to have a little larger throat with a larger screen, easy access buttons, built-in bobbin winder.
Also things that we haven't talked about because we haven't had those. This is a Q&A section, like what we call the patented edge warning.
Yes, patented edge warning.
Let's leave this question up. We'll come back to this in a minute here. So
now's the time to buy either Recertified or buy new. Both are on sale, pretty much. The new ones are on sale for sure, and the Recertified ones have those wonderful Recertified prices. So now's the time to buy.
Carrying
I love
factory new warranties
factory
on the
warranty.
machine. So in essence, it will operate, and we guarantee it will last the same as a brand new machine will. Great question, Mark. Let's go ahead and talk about this one.
Automation works with the Unique 19 machines. We have our 2 versions of the software, and they both work with our 19s. And so what's nice about either of these softwares is a price point for them both. We have our Quilt Motion Beginnings that you can start, dabble it in, understand it, get familiar with it, because it is automation. People like, I don't dare to start the beginnings. It is easy. We have videos on those. You can go watch them. They're easy to use, and then you can upgrade to the Pro, which you get a lot more features with the Pro.
And right now, to be a little bit more clear, one's called the Quilter's Creative Touch. It's QCT 5 Beginnings. And the other one is the Pro, so QCT5 Pro. You can upgrade between the difference. They run the same hardware. I like to refer, Mark, to the Beginnings. Perfect for just edge to edge. And perfect for precise patterns. When you want more convenience, like I wanted to quilt everything that fits within the space of the machine in my frame, you want the Pro because it actually calculates the entire space. Once you have a pattern, it takes and can put 3 to 5 to unlimited rows within that quilting space. It quilts it all for you. When you're done, it also helps you mark it. And so there is a great upgrade path for those of you that are interested. In that Pro, you get also an ability to design and edit patterns, record patterns, and a lot of other fun stuff. But we have found that there's been a significant amount of quilters like you that have said, let me go in with a slightly more affordable option. And so our goal is the same thing with what you've seen today. On sale for $6,500.
$52.90.
That's this one here, right?
52.
58. I think this one's $64.99, right?
Yeah, let's bring those up. Wonderful
so
prices.
I think it's $64.99 on sale from what, $84.99. Yeah, there we go. $64.99. Then we got $58.99. And then we have the Recertifieds. If these things are looking like currently they're not in your budget, or you've been looking at even a 16 machine, and you're like, if I were to buy a 16, look, you can actually get a 19 for the same price as of a 16 if it's Recertified. So you're looking at $4,270, so $4,270, and the Elite machine on that same one's just under $5,000. So again, these are what we call a machine that has had been on the floor or has had some slight time, completely gets reworked if there's anything that needs to be firmware, if there's an update, and then we wrap it with a brand new, brand new machine warranty that fits underneath it as well. What other questions do we have? And then we kind of wrap this up. It's been a bit of time.
So tree, tree. Will the 360 foot work on the Little Rebel too?
It will. So this is a question about a new machine that we are taking pre-orders on. It's a 13-inch machine, comes with built stitching regulation. Perfect for piecing because it's a sewing machine. It actually runs off of the exact same type of foot. So all of the Grace Company machines from the Rebel to the 21, you can actually use all of those same feet on them. So whether it's the 360 Wonderfoot,
or that's the ruler, 3-piece, 9-piece, so let's get that one up there. So we like crumbs. Will the 360 foot on the 15 Pro? Yes, it will. It will. Same thing that Nathan mentioned on Little Rebel, uses the same hopping foot mechanism, everything. So it's the exact same on the. And
again, I'm gonna do some shout out for our dealers because our dealers are running all of these same promotions.
Yes, they are.
They're great. They can ask questions as well. Answer questions for you. If you by chance have them, call in. Again, we have both chat and a phone available to answer any questions that you might have. And again, Mark, the month is coming up. We got one more week. There are some specific sales. And so last week we did talk about Recertifieds because we have some of those available. This week we wanted to talk about the 19 that is part of the August special. Love the machines. In fact, when we hear people that upgrade to the 19, if they're on the Cutie, if they're on a Q-Zone hoop frame, and they've moved from either domestic or the 16, incredibly happy. Again, functions, speed ends up increasing a little bit. This particular machine runs at the same speed as the 21X Elite.
Yep.
So this is at 2600. So we're talking professional speeds. We're talking the professional touchscreen. We didn't even talk about this because this didn't come up in the questions in A, but we've got a fully adjustable handles. There's just so many things, wonderful lighting underneath the needle, so many great things that these machines can do. And again, the goal is that they are always up and running for you to finish the projects that you're wanting to do so. And we also found this is a happy medium. It doesn't need to feel overwhelming.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't need to be the 16, so it's a really great mid place to be for both price and functions and features.
It is. Okay, let's go ahead, and I know there's we got about 5 more questions. I think one is more of a thought that we can get to at the very end, from Tony. Let's go ahead and bring on, Robbie has a question. If you can't finance, are there other options? Right now financing, if you can't finance, we don't have.
I'm going to ask this. Give any of your dealers a call. I know that right now, dealers are looking at several options that might be available. For us, we would say give us a call as well. Again, that's not something that is as common, but there are always options available. And so give them a call.
That's a great one.
Go online, type in Unique 19. You're going to find we have several fantastic dealers online. Feel free to reach out to them. Look at what they have. Give us a call at 1-800-264-0644. Let's put our number up there if we can as well. That way you guys can kind of let that stay up there as we do this. Feel free to give us a call. We're available to help answer those questions. Okay, what's another question that we've got?
Do you take trade-ins of the Unique 15 Pro?
I'm going to say give us a call.
Yep.
Great question.
Yep.
Thank you, Tammy. Again, and you can call to dealers and give us a call on that, and we can talk about what might be the available options if you have a 15 Pro and you're interested in trading.
Yep. All right. Mary Jo, do you know what size needle is in the machine when it ships? I took mine out to look, but I can't read what's on it.
So, Mary, let me ask you a question. Yes, I know the size needle, but the question is it a needle question or is it I need to reorder question? The size of the needle that is in the machine, it is a default. We refer to the current style as called as an MR. So MR, I don't quite know what it means. It is a style we use a rounded shaft, and it's a size 18. So the machines come stock out of the box with a size 18. I would also recommend you can look at our manual online, which we give you very, very specific things to that. And let's quickly pop into that. Let me just show you this, Mary Jo, so you can understand. And anybody else that has a 19 or any other Grace project, we're going to go to the Grace website. We have a new website available for you. So if you are on the main website and you go up underneath resources, and under resources, there's an item that says Etched. Now, if you click on Etched, this is a new home where we have tons of videos and content and information. So if we can go look at the tab in Etched that now has the 19 open. So let's go to one of the tabs up top that has the 19. Let's go, keep on going one more. There we go. You'll see that we actually have a lot of great things that walk you through this. And this one is on the 19 Elite. And the very first thing just says, let's get you started. Let's click on the number 2. And you'll see that there's a series of information. How to wind your bobbin. Let's click on the next one. And all of these things give you ways of showing you how to use it. Let's go ahead and click on the last one there. And so there are great bits of information that also give you downloadables. Down on the bottom, if you look, it says descriptions. Then click on materials for me. And you can see that there are other things that you can have access to download as well. They're all linked there for you. And this is where, Mary, you can find additional information that you can keep digitally or print out that will have more specifics on those particular needles. If you want to know, again, let's go ahead and come back to Mark and myself here. If you want to know, you can go to our site. The only needles that we sell on our site are for our long arm machines. And the size that comes in there, again, is an 18. So that was kind of a long way around. If anybody needs to know, you can go find access to that information.
Yes.
On the site, the machines is a 19. A lot of people will do 16 and 14 for finer threads, but the standard is 18.
Yep. Yeah, great questions. All right, one last question. Marcia, can you retell the major differences between the two machines?
Let's do this for you, Marcia. Mark, I want you to give your spin, and then I'm going to give my spin. So you're going to hear kind of from two different angles. Mark works with and manages as director of all of our sales. I kind of am in charge of all the marketing, and then obviously work with Mark quite a bit. And then I work a lot with operations and the design and engineering. So Mark, maybe you can answer this. What are the differences that you want to share? And then I'll add a little bit from my angle and my perspective as well.
Yeah, so right off the bat, the size of screens are the two different ones. The 19X Elite come with the manuals built in, so oiling the machine, maintaining the machine.
So again, you're talking this larger screen. So this is the 19X Elite we're looking at here with the large 7-inch touchscreen.
Yeah, it has the manuals built in. The speed on this one stitches at 2,600 stitches per minute.
So 2,600?
Yep, 2,600. So it is really nice, really fast.
Bigger motor supply,
bigger motor supply,
bigger power supply, bigger motors, slightly faster in its total performance.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the color between the two. This is a different color than that one. They're both beautiful colors. But those are the major differences between the two of them. What I love about them is there's more commonalities between the two of them. But outside the speed, the screen differences, there are a lot that come with this screen, but the speed is one. Other than that,
commonality, biggest thing I'm going to go is same type of stitch regulation.
Yes.
So a lot of people are like, oh, what am I losing out on?
Yeah.
So some of it will be top end performance is where I would go.
Bobbin winders, you don't, if you get the bigger one or the faster machine, you don't get a better bobbin winder, the exact same.
Winders?
Yes.
Handles
are the exact same.
Okay, so that means they extend and they can adjust, so you're talking similar.
Yep. Now the color is just a little different on it, and then this one stitches a little, it is 2,000 stitches per minute, which is still super fast and super nice. But the commonality is what I like to look at more than the differences, because you get pretty much a lot of the same functions, except you just get, again, the manuals and a couple other smaller details from the screen.
Yeah, with this, there's some other programmed in access points that you have, like Mark is talking about. In addition to the instructions, there's other ways of engaging with. They do both have edge warning. This one is accessed a little bit differently as well from that. Big differences, again, you're going to find overall performance, top end speed. Is what you're looking at, bigger motors, bigger powers. And what happens is people start to quilt and you get more comfortable, you end up wanting to quilt a little bit more. And then the screen's a big one too. A lot of people say, I want the bigger touch
larger screen.
You know, to have those instructions, to have those other access points, to have those other focuses that are directly in front of you is another very, very big one. So again, this one actually in all costs quite a bit more for us to make, which is why we have the differences in that. And then again, this one is a lead into the 21, because the 21X Elite ends up with the same motor and the same power supply.
Absolutely.
It's just packaged in a 19-inch version here versus being in a 21. So really it's like, I really want the 21, I've got the Cutie Frame or a frame like a Q Zone, and I want that performance, and I also maybe don't feel like I want that. It's bigger, it's heavier. I don't want all that. This machine actually, we were able to reduce its weight, and it comes in at about the same as what our 15 used to be on this X Elite and here this 19X machine as well. So those are the big differences. A lot of similarities as what Mark said. They have the same kind of wheel system on them. They actually have the same kind of gear system and belt system in them. Same bearing structure, same shaft sizes, same oiling processes. Really just kind of our standard performance and then our premium high performance version of what that is.
Yep. Yeah, great questions. Let's go with Tony. We'll kind of end with Tony here. And I love this. I was reading it as we were going. Tony, I love all the support, manuals, and videos that you supply. The manuals are great as well as the videos. I have not had any issues figuring anything out.
Thank you, Tony, for sharing that. And maybe we can kind of conclude there. Again, if you have continued questions, first, thanks for being with us.
Yes.
Understand and know that right now there are some phenomenal deals. If you finish traveling, I hope you maybe have enjoyed your summer trips and your travels, and you're ready to kind of get back into the hobby and finish some of your quilts. You might have one unfinished, you might have a stack. And what you're going to find is that the 19 is a perfect machine to help you finish those. The length of the machine is ideal. It's, again, a little bit bigger than those standard mid arms, not so big that you feel overwhelmed with like our big 21. You're going to find that its performance with built-in stitch regulation, multiple modes, is gonna make and give you immediate confidence. You've got some great accessories with the ruler base and all those other items. But I would tell you now, if you've thought about looking at upgrading something that you've already got, adding to a frame that you already have. So if you're a Cutie person, now is a great time to upgrade. And if you're looking to try to get some of your quilts done as you get into this fall season, whether as gifts or you want to hang up some decorations, now's a good time. And we talked about those prices, Mark. Let's kind of recap that with anybody that wants to. And
yeah,
you got
absolutely.
The full machines, and then we actually have a couple Recertifieds. They are limited on the Recertifieds because we don't have an indefinite stock. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yep, normally 80, I was gonna say 8,500, 8,499. This is 6,499. This one is
2,000 off that
2,000 off this one. Yep, and this one is 5,800.
899.
5,899 on this one, and normally it is
7,500.
Yeah, 7,500 on that one. So fantastic prices, and then the last is the Recertifieds. If those are the ones that is more budget friendly for you,
I'm going to say just under 5,000.
Yep, under
so
5,000.
I think it's like 49-ish, and then again, I don't have it specifically. I think this one's right around
under
4,300.
Yep,
So.
yep, under 4,300 on that one. So fantastic questions. Thank you for joining with us today. We love going over our machines. Feel free to continue to look at our website. Go to our dealers. They have the exact same thing running. Check out Etched that we had on there as well. Wonderful video support on all of that. But again, we appreciate all you've done for us with your support. Thank you for all the questions, and we will be doing this often, so stay with us. But again, thank you for every thought and telling us where you have been or where you are, and you guys have a wonderful weekend.
Yep, thanks for all the Q&A, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend.
See ya.
So.